Hello, my fellow chatterers and book lovers, and anyone else who's popped in because you're curious about what this is or you have got a bit lost. Welcome, everyone. I'm Chatty. Welcome to my channel, Chatty the Mad Chatter, and I'm going to be chatting away madly to you about the end of year book tag. I really love some of these kind of like booktube staple book tags because I love kind of like planning and sort of organising and thinking about my reading and just basically chatting to you about books. So this will be a great one. And the weather is being amazing today because it is finally giving us the autumn feelings that I need. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy the hot weather, but I'm very confused. I was like, I want to wear my jumpers. Should I turn on my heating or not? I don't know. And then finally it is cold today. We have chilly, crisp, sunny autumn day and it's perfect. So very happy to be doing this. I'm going to have some tea now because it's always a good thing. And it's the perfect tea drinking temperature. This is awesome. Okay, so on this channel, if you've not been here before, I can't edit my videos when I do long ones. I don't have the technology to help me. So it's one long continuous shot. So it could be chaos, who knows? So here we go, one shot, no editing. Clink, 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 clink. I'm also going to challenge myself to try and do this tag in 20 minutes. I don't know if it's going to work. I have no idea. But I'm going to give it a go because I'm just going to try and rein myself in. Because when I did this last year, it was utterly crazy. I had so many books. It was ridiculous. So I'm going to try and edit myself. Let's see if it works. So here we go. Oh, and I have my tag of tea ready. My big teacup. I'm doing the gimmick again where it's all randomized. So I don't know what the first tag's going to be. We will find out together. Right, I think we're ready. I think I've done everything I needed to. Let's go. Okay, first one is tag number 4. What are the books you want to read before the end of the year? Okay, so I have narrowed this down to a few. So I have individual books I want to talk about and then series I kind of want to talk about and then one I'm just feeling in the mood for. I really want to read The Mercies by Kieran Millward Hargrave because I was supposed to read the For Tea and Taste, never got around to doing it. When I finally had time, it was starting to feel warm again, and I want to read this in a wintry setting because it's going to give me all of those cold, cold, cold vibes. And I kind of want to go to the seafront in a little like pub nook window, see the waves crashing in the cold and read this. That is my plan. Don't know if I can read the whole book. I want to read a little bit of it. We'll see if that works. So, The Mercies by Kieran Millward Hargrave. That is an adult historical fiction that has heavy topics and might be sad. I'd love to read one of Brandon Sanderson's secret projects. I now have all 4, 2 unopened because I haven't read these yet and I feel like I don't deserve them. So I have either Tress of the Emerald Sea or the Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England. Very different vibes I think these 2 books have to each other. This Tress is a Cosmere, Frugal Wizard is just a complete one-off random. And I'd like to read one of those before the end of the year. It's an exciting year and I haven't read one yet because I've been waiting for that perfect book moment. So before the year, guys, I want to have read one of the Sanderson secret projects by Brandon Sanderson, fantasy author, if you were not sure. Okay, the other thing I want to do is I want to keep on finishing out series because this is what is going to make me feel good, and I feel like I'm going to be able to start more series once I've cleaned out some other ones so that I'm aware of what's going on in those books. So I have A Tangle of Spells by Michelle Harrison, which is the 3rd book in the Pinch of Magic series or the Witcham Sisters series, which is a middle grade fantasy. Loved the other 2, that was Pinch of Magic and Sprinkle of Sorcery, and I can't wait to get back to them. And this has got some Halloween-y vibes in it. It's got those kind of like spooky feels, so I'm excited to be picking this up soon and reading it. I also really want to crack on and hopefully maybe finish The Arc of the Scythe because it's been too long. This is Thunderhead, the 2nd book in The Arc of the Scythe by Neil Shusterman, and it is a YA dystopia. And I have now got Harry the Ninth Out of the Library by Tamsin Muir. I'm going to try and briefly refresh myself on Gideon the Ninth by reading some sort of synopsis on the internet. I enjoyed that book when I read it. It also felt quite heavy and I was having a very heavy month. It was this time last year, I think, or was it even the year before? Could have even been the year before. I just felt wiped out. It was the year before. So 2 years Anyway, that's irrelevant. That's the waffle territory. I want to finish out the Lock Tomb series. So if I can read this one and then get Nine of the Ninth out, I will be good, and it'll feel good to have done this. And I want to read it around this time of year because it is, you know, it's bones, it's skeletons. Let's see. And finally, the one that I'm in the mood for, I haven't been in the mood for it for a while, but I'm now kind of feeling really in the mood for The Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne. I read The Shadow of the Gods. I was intending to do a buddy read of this with Mason, but we both kind of kept missing when the other person was in the right mood for it. But it is porridge eating weather. I really, for lunch, I'm going to have porridge. I'm going to have porridge and I'm going to put some peanut butter in it. It's going to be amazing. That is what I'm going to have. Other things as well, but I'm going to have that for my lunch because I feel really like I want that. And when I am in a porridge eating mood, it means it's John Gwynne's Blood Swan Saga. I also went to the reenactment of the Battle of Hastings yesterday, and it was all wonderful reenactment with all the weapons and all the fighting, and it's just really got me in the mood for kind of like an epic warfare saga story. So yeah, that one. Okay, next tag. Behind schedule, but it's fine. These other ones might be quicker. Tag number 2 is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? And yes, I do. I have got my readathons for October TBR, which I will link here. I mentioned many books that have all of those kind of spooky season, autumnal vibes that I really want to be reading. And then I also did my October-November TBR in my book game. And that also included a lot of books that have those same vibes. I am a seasonal reader and I love being a seasonal reader. And so I have many. So I've already spoken about those with you. I will link the November-October TBR here. So I'm just going to mention ones that I'm going to recommend, apart from one that I'm currently reading. Okay, so the one that I'm currently reading, I'm buddy reading with Emily from Novell Novels. We are buddy reading The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte. This is a reread. I love this book. And just picking it up again, I knew I loved it and I knew I'd enjoy it, but I'd forgotten how much I was going to love it and just how perfect it is to read at this time of year. So it's gothic. We have a mysterious stranger. There's this like house that just feels quite cold and lonely and isolated, and there's secrets, and the characters all like walk or go in like a horse-drawn cart, but mainly a lot of walking. And just imagine them walking through kind of like the fields and these sort of woodland areas, and it just feels so like cozy. And then lots of talk of like hearths and fireplaces. It's just absolutely perfect atmosphere setting. So this is just what I needed. I'm having a great time reading this book. Okay, so ones that I wanted to just recommend to people if you are looking for a seasonal read. My middle grade recommendation is The Wizards of Once by Cressida Carroll, which is a fantasy. It's a bit of a, I don't know what the word is. It's a bit quirky. I think Cressida Carroll's books are. But just looking at the cover, like you've got like this amazing like fire coming off the writing. We've got purple, we've got a crow, we've got branches. It really looks epic. And on the back it says once there was magic, and we've got these trees coming behind. There's this big forest with a fort in, and just the whole book has this kind of, they're in this wood. There's wizards and warriors that don't get on. There is a threat of witches in the air. And it just gives you all of those kind of walking in the woods. Look at this. Look at this amazing pictures here. Like a little wizard battle in the forests. So it's all woodsy. It feels dark. It's got a threat. It's got fun magic. Perfect. My YA recommendation is The Library of the Dead by T.L. Huchu. This is set in Edinburgh, and again it's perfect with all of those kind of autumnal vibes, like the streets of Edinburgh. It feels dark and gloomy. There is like an overhanging kind of feel of sort of like a bit of gloom going on, but we have a very like upbeat protagonist to kind of counterbalance that as well. And there are ghosts. It's full of ghosts because our protagonist can speak to them. There are other spooky things happening as well, so that definitely fits. And then my adult recommendations are from the wonderful Robin Hobb. So the first book in the realm of the Elderlings that you need to read if you have not read Hobb is Assassin's Apprentice. This is a really amazing slow burn coming of age story. There's a lot of emotion in here. There's a lot of like very slow kind of world building. It doesn't feel like a fantasy. It feels more like a historical fiction of a made-up place at this point. Like the magic is very kind of low-key. You start to get more of it as you get into the book and learn about it. But it's, you know, we've got castles, we've got countryside, we've got stable yards and animals, and just, you know, again, hearth. There's lots of like being in the kitchen. There's a lot of detail described. It's really, really immersive. And I just fell in love with Fitz, the main character in this book, and adopted him immediately. So it was just glorious to kind of read that. If you have read further into the realm of the Elderlings, the third trilogy, the first book in that is Fool's Errand. And this also gives all those amazing autumnal vibes as well. Do not read Fool's Errand unless you have read the Farseer trilogy and unless you have read the Live Ship trilogy. Don't read until you've done those. But if you have, Fool's Errand is an amazing autumnal book. Again, it's slow burn, it's world building. We have a threat. We have a lot of kind of like being in kind of like the woodsy areas and exploring the world in those places. There's a lot of nature. There's a lot of kind of living outdoor life. So it gives you all of those vibes. So those are my autumnal recommendations. Did I threw the tag back in? Okay, let's get the next one out, and it is tag number 3. It says, is there a new release you are still waiting for? And I just have the one that I'm waiting for, but I'm sort of not yet waiting for it because is it going to be a wintry book for me? That's my feeling. So the one I'm waiting for is a middle grade. It's a middle grade fantasy, and it is The Snow Girl by Sophie Anderson. Sophie Anderson wrote The House with the Chicken Legs, and she is just such a really, again, immersive writer. She has this wonderful like language of putting you into the story and building up atmosphere, but also really making you care for the protagonist. And it is very kind of like Slavic folklore vibes that you get from her books. So this one just sounds like it's going to be so wintry and amazing, and I can't wait to read that one. I think that is coming out at the end of this month, so it should be out October 23. But at the end, so by November it should be fine. It should be out. Okay, and then the next tag is there a book that you... Oh, so it's tag 5. Sorry, I'm doing a very bad job of explaining this. Is there a book that you think could still shock you and become your favourite book of the year? I can't quite remember where I got to. Just pulled up tag 5. And I had just stopped the timer as well. So I'm just going to do that again. Okay. Is there a book that could still shock you and become your favourite book of the year? I find this question like one of two parts, because these books I think could be favourites, but it wouldn't shock me because I am picking them up and expecting them to be my favourites because they sound amazing. So I have Root Magic by Eden Royce, which is a middle grade. I have Foxglove by Adeline Grace. I think this is why, I'm not sure. And I have Blackwater Sister by Zen Cho. I'm very excited for all of them. They're all fantasy, it's my favourite genre, and I'm excited. So it wouldn't shock me if they did become a favourite. What would shock me is if it's ones that I'm not expecting to enjoy as much, because these are challenge books. So I have Neil Gaiman's Trigger Warning. It's challenging because I don't read short stories and kind of the subject matter is not really my vibe, but it's part of my Chatties Challenge. Another part of my Chatties Challenge is A Darker Shade of Magic, which has been a book that I've been trying to read for a while. I do feel I'm ready to pick up A Conjuring of Light, Shades of Magic series, book 3, A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. It was a book that I had paused because it's like, I'm just going to read it. So I feel I've had a lot of time and I'm ready to dip in and try again. I want to see what happens. I want this for my challenge, but I don't expect it to be a favourite. So if these were, that would be surprising, but I don't think they're going to be. Other contenders I have are these books I think I'm really going to enjoy, but I don't think they're going to be a favourite. So if they are, that would be surprising. So I have One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I'm reading this. I'm enjoying it. It's a really fun time, but I didn't go into it thinking it was going to be like a favourite, but I thought it was going to be really enjoyable and really fun. So if it then becomes a favourite, that would be surprising. Same with Secrets of a Sun King. I think it's going to be a brilliant book. It's a historical fiction, which I enjoy reading, but it's not usually my favourite, and it's by Emma Carroll, so again, it would surprise me. We will see. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Next tag is... it is the penultimate one. It is tag number 1, which is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? No, there are books I have started, but I don't feel I need to finish them by the end of the year. So, what? The one I have is Pickwick Papers by Charles Dickens. I was doing the serialized book club from Nicole on Dusty Booksniffers channel, where the original releases of the books that would come out, that would be printed and came out, we would read those sections in those kind of times and have one a month. I fell off the wagon with this. My priorities of what I wanted to do changed and I just couldn't quite fit this in. So I just need to kind of like reset and reassess, and then I think I'll pick it up again next year. Whether that's me reading it by myself at that point, I don't know, and just kind of like dipping into the Discord chat like as I do. But I do want to do this. I'm really excited about it. But I just don't feel in a position. I feel I'll be reading it now because I feel like I should, rather than it's because I want to. So I need to kind of get myself into now I can spend time doing this and pick it up again. And I was enjoying it as I was doing it. And I haven't marked it out. I think I also want to mark it out so I get a better idea of what that would look like. And everything else, all those pauses. Sorry. Tea. We're on the lukewarm now. Oh dear. Okay. Brain. All the other pauses I have now reset. So all of the books that I've paused, I'm now just it's not the right time for me to read them. So they're going back on the shelves. When I pick them up again, I'll be reading them from the beginning. So they're now not in current use. And I spoke about those in my DNF. Do you tag DNF books, or the DNF book tag, which I will link here. Okay, final question is tag 6. Have you already started making reading plans for 2024? For those with eyeballs, you'll see this as 2023 because I used my tags from last year. 2024. Yes, I have got reading plans for 2024, and I've written them all on my lovely scrappy bit of paper here. So in 2024, my reading plans, it's not like last time where I've got loads of kind of buddy reads set up, loads of plans, loads of things I want to accomplish. I've got a couple, but then I've got things that I would like to allow myself to explore, but it's not going to be everything. So the things that I want to do in 2024 is I want to start off with rereading Amari. So I plan in February, I'm going to maybe talk about this in January, doing an Amari read along, an Amari along, where we're going to read the books each month, ready for the 3rd book to be released in April. So February we'll read Amari and the Night Brothers, March we'll read Amari and the Great Game, and then the 3rd book is released in April, and I'm so excited. So that's that plan. I also want to do a similar thing with Nevermore, really hoping that we get the 4th book, Silverborn, in October 2024. And then I will do a similar thing with Nevermore in July, Wondersmith in August, and Hollowpox in September, ready for Silverborn in October. Fingers crossed we can do that. I'd also like to join in some of the FOMO book club reads. I can't remember what month it is, but I would like to read Sarah Waters' Tipping the Velvet. Mini interruption. Going to restart this again. So yes, FOMO book club. I'd like to read Tipping the Velvet with them whenever they do that. Links for that will be in the description. I also want to really continue with Chatty Challenge, where I'm reading the Goodreads Choice Adult Fantasy books for the last 8 years now. So I want to keep going with that. I was hoping to kind of get back into it from September, but there was too many like seasonal reads that I wanted to do and series I wanted to finish. So I'm like, I'm just parking it again, and I'm going to pick it up in the new year. So that's my plan for that one. What else do I want to do? Oh yeah, so one of the reasons why I really want to finish off so many series is because I have 12 new series lined up, divided into duology, shorter trilogy, and then fuller epic page counter trilogy or longer book series. That I'd like people to vote on which ones I should do. So I should end up with 3 new series, a duology, a shorter trilogy, and a longer trilogy plus. I'm very excited about those books. I'm very excited about all those new series that I am really keen to read. So I really want to make that video and then read those series next year. So we'll see how that goes. And I just want to I want to just keep everything a bit looser and fancy free. I don't want to tie myself into things as much. And this goes for like me and my own kind of goals and plans. I want to just kind of like feel more able to jump into a random buddy read, or to jump and join in some of the stuff on other people's channels, like on Nicole of Dusty Book Sniffers, book of the month kind of thing that they do. And I'm not going to make it because there's 5 seconds left. So yeah, I want to be able to kind of there we go. I was close. I've nearly, okay, that's very loud. Shh. I was nearly within 20 minutes. It's not too bad. So yeah, I wanted to join in more kind of buddy reads if possible. I definitely want to be able to join in with more stuff on the middle grade mad chat when things come up. I haven't managed to join in as many suggestions for buddy reads, just because I've had so many other plans, but I would love to be able to do that more. I do have some buddy reads coming up, which is lots of fun. So on middle grade mad chat in October, we're going to be reading Coraline by Neil Gaiman. So that is Talia and Mona Lisa. We'll be reading that, and Stacey as well, so that's really exciting. And in November, I'm going to be reading Kind of Spark with Tiffany from Towering TBR. So I'm really looking forward to reading those, because I love being able to chat about books, and buddy reads are a perfect way of doing that. Yeah, I have a few other things that I want to do. I've got some ideas for videos that I'd like to try. I really enjoyed rereading the Percy Jackson series, and I have got other rereading series that I would like to kind of put out there for next year. So again, I think I'm going to do another here are some series I might read. What would you like to vote for me to read? So I'm just moving things so I can stretch my leg out because it's going dead. So things that are kind of like what was the date I wrote? Pre-2010 middle grade book series. I have 4 in mind that I would love to reread, and I'm rubbish at making decisions, so it'd be nice if you voted on what you would like me to read. I also have a few ideas of I'd love to read some more booktube favourite books. So people that I watch and follow on booktube, and my friends on booktube, reading their favourite book of the year so far, or one of their top 10 books. I'd love to kind of do more exploring that. I'd also love to do what's the other thing I wrote down? Yes, so reflecting on some of the things. So I've done a predicting. So last year when I first started, one of the videos I did was my 5-star predictions. And I would love to kind of go back to that and reflect, were they actually 5 stars? Did I read them? And have I got any new 5-star predictions to kind of throw into that mix? So I'd like to do that. I'd also like to do looking back at my book box predictions and finishing off all of those books, so I can then be right, and this is what my actual ordering of the books were. I loved these ones, I did not enjoy those ones so much, and see if it aligns with my predictions or not. So there's a lot of things I want to do. I'm also kind of aware of my goals. I want to be reading more of my physical shelves. I am doing the Read What You Own book challenge again. I have started, but I haven't done my video about it, so that will be coming up at some point. And the goals of wanting to read more middle grade, wanting to read more global majority books. So all of that Okay, that's all my reading plans for then. So the only thing left is for me to say, tag, you are it. If you have not done the end of year book tag and you would like to, consider yourself tagged and let me know that you're doing it, because I'd really love to see what you do. If you don't have a booktube channel or any other kind of booktube social media, please write in the comments and give me some of the answers to the questions in there. And I'm just going to do a few shout outs and tag some people, just because it's always fun to shout out other channels. It's really what helps build the community, and it feels awesome when you get tagged in something. So I would like to tag Feletsa Alexandria. She has just recently started a booktube channel and she has the most amazing library ever. So if you just want a little bit of cheering up, if you just need to kind of like drop into some kind of beautiful book envy, drop into her channel. She seems like a real sweetheart, and she has absolutely gorgeous shelves and decorations, and she's really passionate about the books she reads and talking about them, so definitely go and give her a look. And I'd love to know what your end of year plans are, and I just want another chance to kind of ogle all your bookshelves basically. I also want to tag Shelley from Percy Does Everything. Shelley is another one of those who have so many books on the shelves. Although Shelley, I do think you're doing a really good job at like just cracking through some series, like the videos you're kind of churning out at the moment with where you've like just started series binging, is awesome. I'm quite envious of that. So I'd love to know what your end of year books are. I also want to tag Tiffany from Towering TBR. Again, another amazing array of books on your shelves, Tiffany, and I want to know what you are kind of like focusing in on. I know you're kind of more of a mood reader, but you have kind of like got set bingo things that you want to be getting and goals you might want to be getting before the end of the year. So I really want to know what those are. And I want to tag Chloe from Phantom of the Pages. I read a lot of fairy loot books with Chloe, which has been so much fun. And yeah, Chloe, I'd love to hear your answers. What are you kind of clocking into trying to squeeze into sort of like the end of the year? I'd love to hear that. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you are having lovely autumn or fall where you are, crunching those leaves, go and drink some lovely warm drinks, sit by a fire, and keep out the cold and just enjoy the cozy snuggles of reading. Happy reading, everyone.